All right. Hey, Greg, can we get an update on Javier? I know he said 2 to 5 weeks. Is that your timetable as well? And also Douglas Costa.
With Javi, he's in the treatment phases still, and then he's got to go through return to play. I don't know exactly. Again, 2 to 5 weeks is a long range. So our anticipation was a grade 1 hamstring strain, which is 10 days to a couple weeks, and then you see when on the return to play how long it takes him to get back to, like maximum fitness, doing all the things he needs to do for match performance. So I don't know if that's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I'm not sure, but right now he is still in the treatment phase, and then he'll start to make his way out on the field to do the return to play stuff, hopefully by the end of this week, beginning of next week.
And Douglas Costa?
Yeah, Douglas is calf strain. It's soleus strain, so he was having some tightness in the calf a couple weeks ago. Upon MRI, we saw that there's a little something edema there that we had to deal with, so he is probably a couple more weeks potentially. So we'll see. We'll see again on his progression.
Hey, Greg. How are you?
How are you?
Nice hat. Does it bother you that
really the weather is terrible out there? Yeah.
Does it bother you that like Javier is so open like on Twitch to be talking about like his injury and how long he's gonna be out when he said like 2 to 5 weeks, or is just something that doesn't matter?
No, it matters. It's for us things like that are internal and for club release. So that's been shared. I think at the end of the day, players sometimes get out in front of it and they want to let fans or their people know kind of how they're doing because people might be asking a question. But ultimately, there's a way, the time, and a place to give that because it's also about the opposition. It's about game management, game prep, all those kinds of things. So there's a lot of pieces to it, but it's not earth-shattering in this situation. But in different circumstances, these things can be very important information that you give to the other team or give the opposition or someone else that you don't necessarily want to be doing all the time. That's for sure.
Hi, Greg. I just wanted to get your thoughts on, you brought in Rosell and Caligari in the last week and a half or so. Just your thoughts on what it is that they're going to bring, what you're expecting from them, how soon you're expecting from them, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, with Uri Rosell, he is an experienced defensive midfielder in our league. He's won a championship. He's, a guy that he understands MLS, and he's been successful. He's a competitor. He understands our style of play. Having spent a couple of years many years, I guess, in Kansas City, coming through Barcelona system again, he understands the value that we have on that role and that position and the movements that we seek. So he gives us some added experience and depth in the position, gives us maybe some versatility at times if we really felt like we wanted to let Gaston be a little bit freer from time to time, then that's something we could do and have Uri sit there. We also have Adam coming through, and with Adam having most of last year trying to still recover, we want to give Adam also some space to continue to grow as a player this year and to make sure that he has the freedom to get some games. Even with the second team, he's not always there to just cover somebody, but he has the freedom to make sure he gets matches this year because he didn't get many last year. So Uri provides us with a lot of things. He's also a great leader in the locker room and on the field. He's a super competitor. So it brings just another level of edge in the training environment sometimes, which has been great. As far as Lucas, a player we've watched for a while. Again, when a guy like Julian is every window, there's a chance that something might come up and an opportunity where he might go. We've been kind of out in front of this scouting. Lucas, guy, has been in our radar. So we've seen him. He's a versatile right back. He's played in many of professional game down there in Serie A and is vetted in terms of a high level experience. But he's versatile. He's not necessarily a flyer up and down the line, similar to Jules, who was really like a runner. Lucas is a guy who can play, who can invert. He can go inside. He can play outside. He's got a different type of education for the position, and he's a different type of right back. But his timing to get forward is very good. The quality of his service is consistent and it's good. And defensively, he's got got very good instincts. His attention to line, his relationships, his decisions are all very solid. So we feel like we're getting a young player who, again, has been vetted in a great environment and has a great education for the game, and feel like he can step in and help us right away.
Where is he in terms of getting here?
Visa process, gosh, I don't know. I always hear when these things start, 10 days to 2 weeks, sometimes a year and a half. It depends on who you're asking.
Okay, and Uri is here?
Uri is here, yeah.
Is he set to play this
Yeah,
week?
he's ready to go. Everything is clear with him.
Okay, and in terms of between now and the end of the window, what else are you looking to bring in? What else are you looking to improve with?
Yeah, we believe we're still 3 pieces potentially, additions. So we have some solid resources and some different things that we can move around in our roster to continue to increase the quality, increase the depth. Again, without a summer international window, we want to do things right and when we can in this window, but we also have internal options if we wanted to make moves inside the league in the summer. So it's a little bit of gauging. We want to make sure we get the right people. We like where we are. We have some targets. We're in discussions, and we still feel like, again, like there's 2 or 3 moves that are going to happen between now and within the next month.
Speaking of a year and a half from a second ago, do you have any updates on Farai Mutatu? And then maybe, not to get ahead of the question, but maybe are you in a situation where he's someone that you might be looking maybe the summer more window, or maybe just to get him in before that deadline?
So we have had some communication from the immigration process with Farai. I think given the circumstances, they needed him to wait out a certain amount of time before they could run him back through the process. I feel like the message was we've hit that amount of time, and now it is basically resubmitting the paperwork and all those kinds of things to get him hopefully here. So we are cautiously and hopeful, optimistic that he'll be back here before the window closes, before everything. And I don't even know if if there's a window related to this, but we believe we'll have him here hopefully pretty soon. And really, it's an assessment for I to get going again, to get matches. So between the first team training sessions, second team game match environment, just to see where he's at and to get him back acclimated and inside the group and team. I mean, it would just be great to see him really after all of this and see where he's at. But hopefully that will be soon. Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon, Greg. Just 2 quick questions. Could you clarify if Riqui, does he fall under the young DP category, or is he going to be a regular DP?
So the way the DP structures work is you have the option of 3 senior DPs. If you go 3 senior DPs, then you only have access to 1 youth fund spot. If you go 2 senior DPs and 1 youth fund DP, youth DP, then you have access to 3 youth fund spots. Or you can go 2 senior DPs, 1 restricted DP, and still have access to the 3 youth fund spots. Does that make sense? So Riqui moves into the what we call the restricted DP spot, which then still keeps alive our 3 youth fund spots. And right now we have Efra, we have Dayan, and we have Caligari, and the possibility of making an adjustment inside of that to potentially add 1 more youth fund and move someone over into a TAM position. So we have some flexibility. That's kind of my point. With Riqui, he will go into what currently is that restricted spot, which allows you to keep open those 3. So the restriction is basically you're at a max TAM number, but you free up that TAM money to spread it out across your roster. So MLS Budgeting 101 it's a 4-year course. It's not a 5-minute course.
I figured I'd ask you. I think I'm about to watch the video too to see what you said.
Yeah,
to understand.
Good luck with that.
So with that potential spot open, how likely is it to see another Galaxy player come in within a few weeks or before this next month?
Yeah, we definitely are. We definitely have some solid resources. With Riqui shifting into the DP, it opens up some TAM resources for us. We also have some flexibility in terms of utilizing or utilizing another youth fund position potentially, and we still have some allocation money that we received from Julian's sale and things like that. So, again, I think there's 2 to 3 potential moves here within the next month. If we make 2, it's probably because we're saving a little bit money for some internal flexibility over the summer should we need some of that. So that's what I think it will occur as we move through the next month and change. Yeah.
Hi, Coach. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
On the field, tactically, how much does it affect your initial plans not having Javier? We know that in preseason you tried with the 2 strikers up front. We know you've been playing the 4-3-3. Were you expecting to see that from the get-go, but now without Javier, what can we see from the team until Javier comes back?
Yeah, I think I've said this for us. I don't think the 2 forward system is the answer for our group. Again, there's ways to play with 2 forwards and still control the middle of the field. But I think for us and the way we want to play, it's important that we dominate the middle of the field and we control possession and we have good numbers. There's times where we will use that. I don't think it's the answer for us on a consistent basis. We looked at it many of times, and I think every time we looked at it, we've not been the same version of what I would like us to be and what I think is our best version of us. So with Javi out, then Dejan steps in and he fills the role, and he has an opportunity to grow as a starter inside of our team, which is a great challenge for him this year to take another step as a pro, to be able to lead the front line for 90 minutes and maybe for 2 to 3, 4, 5 games or however many this season will play out for him. So this is a great step for him in his process. When Javi comes back, I think we'll be getting into a series of where we have a ton of games this year, and between the 2 of them, we're going to need them to carry the load for us. And then Preston is another guy who's had a great preseason, who is just a handful to deal with. So we feel like we have 3 really viable, hard to deal with strikers who can put the ball in the back of the net. And like I said, sometimes we may use 2 together, but primarily it's not the vision that we have for where we're headed right now.
Now we're going to take some questions from Zoom. Go ahead, Tom Bogert.
Ooh, thank you. Thanks for taking the time, Greg. I know that you just kind of ran through the cap ramifications and the thought process behind Riqui being the 3rd DP. So if there's anything else you wanted to kind of expand on that, feel free. But I guess the next part of that is, given how quickly Riqui settled in and proved his value as one of the kind of the better players in this league, do you think that there's going to be, I guess, talks for a new contract coming up that would then complicate this situation of having him as a max TAM player rather than, unrestricted DP?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Obviously, he's a player with a lot of quality. And in a short amount of time, 6 months, he's quickly proven, I think, to people that he can impact games. And, I'm hearing whispers around the league of a guy who might be in the MVP candidate group to start a season. So if he continues to perform, then I would imagine there will be a knock on some doors about contracts and extensions and progressions and all that stuff. But right now we're all focused, including Riqui and everybody, is having a great season and trying to, again, take another big step forward as a group, and for him to keep growing as a player and keep impacting games and helping us to move forward. So, but I think that's the right process. If if things keep going in that direction, I think that's the next step.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Gessman, go ahead.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. Just wanted to know sort of your feelings with the game being canceled. What did that whole sort of thing lead up to? How did the guys handle it? And does it change anything with how you approach Dallas, knowing they've already played a game?
Well, how it played out, we were actually Friday morning in a meeting with the starting group going over defensive set piece responsibilities, also going through a couple of tactical things that I wanted us to be attentive to, looking at some video and some different things, when there was a knock on the video room door, and somebody pulled me out and said, hey, the game's going to be postponed until another date. And I walked in as the set piece meeting was going in and stopped Dan Couchman, who was going through the defending set pieces, and said, guys, there won't be a game, so you don't need to worry about this right now. And there was a lot of disappointment. And it's a group that has put in a lot of work for the 8 weeks. They were prepared. They were focused on the game that was coming up. They were looking forward to it. I felt the energy during the course of the week leading up to the game felt like the playoffs to me a little bit, where when you try to do training sessions, you can tell that there is really an intention on the weekend and the game, and it's like just get me to the game kind of a feeling. And so obviously when they heard the news, there was disappointment inside of that. So what does that mean? We trained hard that day no matter what. We gave them a couple days off, and we came back with the mindset that we have to have the same intensity and the same mindset as we go to Dallas. It doesn't change our approach to Dallas. We're going to play Dallas how we would have played at Dallas no matter what. The difference is Dallas has one match under their belt and has felt that a little bit, and for us it's now coming off of what essentially is a bye week and trying to get ourselves right up to speed immediately on the road against a team that has one game under their belt. So I think our guys are more than eager to play, because 9 weeks of preseason is just it's too long. So there's a eagerness to get on the field, and I can again feel that this week. This week's been a little bit weird too, just with weather and everything else, just trying to get through our normal preparation. But in the end, again, I can feel the emotion of just get me to Saturday. I'm looking forward to getting this thing started. So
Thanks, Greg.
We're taking one last one from Zoom with Alex Reese. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Greg. You guys acquired Riqui in the middle of last season. Was the intention always to make him a designated player, or was that something that recently came about this offseason? Thank you.
Well, the intention was for him to come and play, and there was the opportunity for him to, with production, with quality, with showing what his capability of was, to grow into that position if and when one opened up, and he was doing the job that he was, we all kind of thought and expected him to do. And he came and he earned it, is what it comes down to. The spot opened up, he earned it, and so that's kind of the next natural step. It also makes sense for us in terms of how we're shaping the budget and the flexibility that we can get out of the situation in terms of timeline. That's one of the biggest reasons why now, and maybe not down the road or in the future, but it gives us a lot of flexibility inside of our roster building for where we are in the moment.
And then we'll take one final one here with Damien.
Hey, Greg, you mentioned Adam Saldana earlier and also Preston there. Do you have in your mind their role for this season? Is it spending time with the first team, or sort of shuffling back and forth between first and second team?
Yeah, I mean, both guys have been in the training environment every day. So they are around the first team, they're in the first team. But at the same time, we don't want guys just training in the first team environment and not playing games all season. So our anticipation is that we'll probably be in 50 plus games hopefully this year, or close to 50 games, which is a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. And for those guys to take another step forward. Adam unfortunately lost a bit of a year last year, but for Preston is to keep taking a step forward in his development and growth as a player. He's had 2 now seasons in USL Championship where he's scored with consistency. And last year he played in a game against Chivas Guadalajara with us, and he looked very good in that game. And so it's to provide him with another opportunity to grow as a player and continue to move his pathway forward. And so what will his role be? It's hard to say, but we expect him to be on the field and to give us some solid minutes over the course of the season. And the roles are always dependent on how guys in front of you do and how the team progresses and how many games we have and how things play out. So, but we have them around the team because we expect that they will play a role in the season.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Riqui.
Hi.
First of all, your thoughts coming into your second season here in Major League Soccer. What did you learn about the style of play in the league last season, and how better prepared are you going into the season here?
Bueno, la verdad que los primeros meses de adaptación siempre van bien para conocer la liga y el ritmo. Creo que me fue muy bien para conocer bien la MLS y empezar una temporada desde el inicio. Creo que esto pues, puede ser muy bueno para mí y para el equipo.
The truth is, the first months of adapting are good, to get to know the league, and I feel like I got to know that last season, and now starting a season from the start, I think it's good for me and for the team.
Riqui, felicidades por el contrato, más que merecido por la gran temporada que tuviste. Pero me imagino que eventualmente tu meta va a ser jugar para la selección española, jugar Eurocopa, Mundiales. ¿Qué tanto crees que afecte eso al estar en la MLS por el historial que se ha dado por jugadores de Europa que no son convocados en sus selecciones, sin importar que sean el MVP? Vimos el caso Jovinko, por ejemplo, con Italia.
Bueno, la verdad que yo, pues de momento estoy más focus en el Galaxy y en hacerlo bien en mi club, y así pues puede venir otras cosas como la selección. La verdad que siempre será bienvenido, y yo pues como soy español y siempre pues he tenido mucho orgullo para jugar con la selección, pues será súper bienvenido. Pero de momento no tengo la idea de ir a la selección, porque estoy muy focus en el equipo. Creo que primero lo tengo que hacer bien aquí y dar nivel aquí en la MLS, y luego ya si viene pues estaré muy contento y muy orgulloso.
The question was on national team possibilities and how playing in MLS affects his chances of making it. And Ricky's response, the truth is I am more focused on the Galaxy right now and doing things well here in MLS. And I think as that happens, if, a national team call-up comes, it's always going to be welcome. And I'm always proud to represent my country and the national team. But for now, I have no idea what that will be. And I'm very, very focused on the Galaxy.
Hi, Riqui. What does becoming a designated player, what does it mean to you?
Bueno, creo que la verdad que es una cosa que sí que también era importante para mí, ser un jugador DP, pero que yo vine aquí con otra mentalidad, tener la confianza del club sobre todo, y la confianza del míster creo que es más importante que ser un jugador DP. Creo que el club pues siempre pues me ha transmitido esa confianza. Estoy muy feliz, le tengo que dar las gracias pues a todo el Galaxy, y sobre todo creo que es eso, que creo que estoy muy cómodo aquí, tengo muchas ganas de demostrar, y lo otro pues ya era algo secundario.
I think it's something, I know it's important for me to be a DP, but I came here with another mentality, to have the club's confidence and to have the coach's confidence. And that's more important to me than just being a DP. And I think the club and the coach have always given me that confidence that I needed. And, thanks to the Galaxy for giving me that trust. And I'm excited to prove that on the field.
This has been a long preseason. Is this the longest preseason you've gone through? And just how anxious or eager, or whatever the term might be, are you to get out there and actually play a game?
Sí, creo que es una temporada, yo creo que la temporada más larga que yo como futbolista voy a vivir. Creo que hasta si llegamos a los playoffs estamos hasta diciembre, ¿no, Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
Y la verdad que sí que estaremos pues casi 10 meses fuera de España, lejos de mi ciudad. También pues es algo que también para mí me va a ir bien, para también estar concentrado en el equipo y saber que hasta de aquí 8 o 9 meses no voy a volver a casa, así que ya que estamos aquí pues vamos a ganarlo todo y a dar pues la talla. Y la verdad que con muchas ganas de afrontar esta larga temporada y a ver si lo podemos hacer bien.
I think it is a long season, maybe the longest I've ever played as a player. If we make it to the playoffs, I think it goes on until December. So it's, 10 months away from being back home in Spain, away from my city, from my family. But I think that will keep me focused on the team. And now that I'm here, I want to win it all with this club and give it my all. And I'm excited to get this long season started.
Riqui, con la ausencia de Javier Hernández por las próximas 2-3 semanas, ¿es el momento de que tú tomes el liderazgo del equipo?
Bueno, creo que es un deporte colectivo. Creo que aquí el liderazgo de un jugador o de dos jugadores creo que es más colectivo y no tan individual. Creo que si yo juego bien, pues el equipo creo que va a jugar bien, y viceversa. Creo que si el equipo juega bien, pues yo voy a jugar bien. Como he dicho, creo que es un equipo colectivo. Creo que somos mucho más fuertes cuando el equipo juega con la posesión y tenemos mucho el balón, y creo que claro que quiero ser protagonista y quiero dar pues lo mejor de mí y eso voy a intentar hacer.
Riqui,
I'll translate. The question was on Javi's absence and whether that gives him a bigger role within the team, and his response. I think it's a team sport. The leadership of a player or two is more on the collective side and not just on the individual player. But if I play well, I think the team will play well, and vice versa. If the team plays well, I will play well. I think we're stronger when we're playing as a team with a lot more possession with the ball. And I want to be my best and give it my all on the field.
Riqui, you're an elite technical player, and I noticed last season and even through this season, you're getting fouled a lot. Is it frustrating to be fouled consistently, and how do you protect yourself from getting injured?
Sí, creo que al principio de la temporada también lo dije, creo que a veces pues los árbitros y también la MLS tiene que también proteger a los jugadores, porque sí que es una liga pues muy dura y que hay entradas pues a veces muy feas, pero creo que estos partidos de pretemporada también he visto un poco pues que el árbitro también ha hablado mucho más con los jugadores e intentar pues que se juegue más y que no haya tantas interrupciones, y creo que esto también puede hacer que la liga sea mucho mejor, mucho más competitiva y que tengamos muchos mejores partidos, que no hayan tantas lesiones y que eso siempre pues para el espectador va mucho mejor.
Yes, I think that at the beginning of the season I said I think the refs and MLS have to protect the players, and because it's a hard league with, sometimes some bad tackles. And I think these preseason games, I've noticed that refs have been talking more with players and allowing for the game to flow better and for the game to go on. And I think that will be what's best, obviously, for players and the teams on the field.
Hey, Riqui, how's it going? Congrats on being a DP. My question to you is, I know you had mentioned that you want to be MVP this season. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? And obviously, I know you just mentioned it's a team sport, but individually, you wanted to be an MVP for the league.
Bueno, gracias. Pues la verdad que, como he dicho, siempre creo que es un deporte de equipo, pero yo soy muy competitivo, siempre pues me ha gustado ganar siempre. Antes jugaba a tenis y lo dejé también porque era demasiado competitivo y a lo mejor faltaba el respeto a mi contrincante, y eso a veces pues no es de plato de buen gusto. Y la verdad que, como he dicho, yo siempre quiero aspirar a todo, si puede ser pues al MVP, a todas las competiciones que jugamos, pues siempre tendré hambre de ganarlo todo. Quiero ser MVP, quiero ser una estrella aquí en la MLS, quiero hacer un nombre grande aquí en esta ciudad, y la verdad que voy a trabajar para ello.
I think, like I said, it's a team sport, but I'm very competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and I always like to win. And I used to play tennis, but I had to leave it because I was very competitive and maybe disrespected my rival. So with that, I think that I want to go for everything. I want to win everything. I want to be MVP. I want to win it all. I want to be a star in MLS and make a big name for myself in the city, and I will work hard to achieve that.
And I know Chicharito's going to be out here for a couple of weeks, but can you talk to me a little bit about Dejan Joveljic and what you've seen the last couple of months, obviously the last couple of weeks here in the preseason?
Bueno, como he dicho, creo que tenemos un equipazo, tenemos una plantilla pues muy amplia, con jugadores muy buenos. Creo, como que has dicho, que Joveljic creo que es un nuevo impresionante, que tiene mucha calidad, que lo puede hacer muy bien, y la verdad que nos puede aportar muchas cosas. La verdad que tenemos una plantilla fantástica con extremos, delanteros, medios y defensas buenísimos, y que lo pueden hacer súper bien.
Like I said, we have a great team with great players like Dejan. He's so impressive, and he has a lot of quality, and I think he could give us a lot on the field. And I think we have a great roster overall with great players who can do a great job for us. Now we're going to go with some questions from Zoom. Oh, first with Michele right here. Sorry.
Thank you. Riqui, ¿cómo estás?
¿Qué tal?
Felicidades por el nuevo contrato de jugador franquicia. ¿Cómo te sientes, primero que nada? Bueno, ya has mencionado todo lo que quieres lograr en esta liga, pero en lo personal, ¿cómo te sientes? Y también que nos cuentes un poco, si se puede, cómo fue el proceso del equipo en esta, me imagino, se acercaron a ti, cuándo lo hicieron, cómo te lo presentaron y cómo fue el proceso de ya ser catalogado jugador franquicia. Gracias.
Gracias. La verdad que muy feliz. Como he dicho pues más de una vez, aunque la prensa de otros países digan que estoy muy aburrido aquí, la verdad que estoy súper bien. Estoy muy encantado. Vicky me puede ver cada mañana y soy un tío feliz, que estoy siempre riendo. Y más que ahora soy DP, pues algo más para sumar dentro de la mochila. Del tema pues del contrato, pues creo que era algo pues que tampoco era primordial, creo que era algo secundario, que sí que se había hablado que si el primer año pues iba bien, pues iba a ser nombrado DP. También cuando llegué pues ya habían 3 DPs y era difícil pues yo entrar en ese rango, y la verdad pues que ahora me han podido pues nombrar DP, dar las gracias al club porque en todo momento pues me dieron esa confianza y también pues me fueron muy claros con eso, y darle las gracias por la confianza y que yo les voy a dar todo eso dentro del campo y con títulos.
I'm very happy. Or the question was, how do you feel on being a DP, and what was that process like to get here? Ricky's response: I'm very happy. Like I said more than once, even though media from other countries say I'm really bored in LA, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm always smiling, and now that I'm a DP, it's something else to add to my resume. On the contract, I think it's something that was secondary. That the first season, if things went well, things would happen this year, and there was 3 DPs then, and now we had that opportunity, and I want to thank the club for giving me that confidence, and I want to pay it back on the field with a lot of titles. Now we'll go with Zoom. I believe the Zoom questions are in Spanish, so we'll let those be in Spanish. Go ahead, Ariel Judas.
Gracias, Vicky. Hola, Ricky. Felicitaciones por la designación como jugador franquicia. Quería hacerte una pregunta un poco más de corte doméstico. Sabes que ahora comienza o ya comenzó MLS Season Pass y que esto se va a poder ver en todo el mundo. Quería preguntarte, ¿en cuánto va a afectar en lo personal para ti el hecho de que tu familia, tus amigos, incluso la prensa en España, en Barcelona, pueda ver tus partidos en directo, sin problemas, sin restricciones, tus goles, tus asistencias, tus entrevistas? Los pone mucho más cerca a ambos lados, a ti y a la gente que está en Barcelona.
Sí, bueno, creo que es algo más que suma pues a esta gran liga, que pueda ser pues una liga impresionante cara al futuro. Creo que era un paso que se tenía que hacer. Creo que pues lo que han hecho con Apple pues es impresionante. Antes, cuando vine pues los últimos 2 meses, mis padres por suerte también pudieron ver todos los partidos gracias pues a otras plataformas, pero la verdad que ahora es mucho más fácil. La gente pues creo que tendrá mucha más facilidad en ver los partidos. Sí que es verdad que el horario pues no acompaña, pero creo que lo puedes ver luego repetido, y es eso para el espectador creo que es muy bonito, y creo que puede ir muy bien para mí también, para poder pues reivindicarme y ver el jugador que soy y el equipazo que tenemos.
Vamos ahora con Diana Alvarado. Diana, adelante.
Gracias, Vicky. Tengo un par de preguntas, Ricky. ¿Cómo estás? Felicitaciones por ese nuevo acuerdo como jugador franquicia. Ricky, de la forma que cerraron la temporada pasada y llegar a semifinales, ¿está este Galaxy mejorado? Platícanos cómo llega el equipo para superar ese 2022.
Bueno, como he dicho, creo que tenemos un equipazo. Creo que pues el año pasado muchos jugadores llegamos tarde y no pudimos empezar pues la liga desde el principio, y esto también pues hace que que el equipo pues no sea tan compacto como tiene que ser desde un inicio de temporada. Creo que este año pues empezamos todo desde el inicio y esto nos puede hacer pues ser un mejor equipo y mucho más compacto, y la verdad que con muchas ganas. Creo que todo el equipo pues nos dio mucha rabia que el sábado se anuló el partido, y con muchísimas ganas de ir a Dallas, dar la cara, hacer un partidazo y volver con los 3 puntos.
Bueno, seguimos con Enrique Cano. Adelante, Enrique.
Hola Riqui, buenas tardes. Qué gusto saludarte, felicitarte por tu nuevo contrato como jugador franquicia. Espero que te encuentres bien. Primero me gustaría preguntarte, con todo esto que acabas de platicar y comentar hace unos momentos, que les quedó ese sabor amargo de la temporada pasada, que se quedaron a un paso de llegar a esa gran final. Rápidamente se vio tu adaptación en la liga y llegaste a tu corta edad. Se vio rápidamente que el equipo pudo acoplarse a la idea que tú tenías y a la idea que tenía el director técnico. ¿Cómo crees que pueda funcionar para esta nueva temporada? ¿Cuál crees que sea la clave que se necesite para este año, para que el Galaxy llegue a ese siguiente nivel que necesita, que por un par de años, por varios años, se les ha negado ese título? Felicidades.
Bueno, muchas gracias. La verdad que sí. Creo que yo soy un jugador con unas características pues muy concretas, y creo que también pues el hecho de venir aquí con el míster Greg, que tiene una idea pues muy clara de juego, y el equipo pues también hizo que yo viniera aquí también, porque se adapta un poco a mi estilo de juego. Como dices, creo que el año pasado pues tuvimos un poco de mala suerte. Creo que hicimos un partidazo y a lo mejor nos merecíamos más, pero bueno, cada año hay una oportunidad. El fútbol pues por mala suerte o por suerte tiene poca memoria. Estamos en una nueva temporada y creo que tenemos un buen equipo para dar la talla, y creo que para llegar a más lejos que el año pasado.
We're going to take one last one with Alex Reese. Go ahead, Alex.
Hola Riqui, felicidades para el nuevo contrato. Hablaste anteriormente de la liga, de muchas faltas. Esta liga es muy físicamente, te demanda mucho. ¿Cómo has entrenado tu cuerpo para esta nueva temporada?
Bueno, desde que vine aquí, pues el Galaxy también ha tenido pues un plan para mí un poco más físico. Creo que estoy trabajando para mejorar físicamente. Creo que es uno de los aspectos donde tengo que mejorar más, y a lo mejor de donde venía no era algo que trabajaba mucho. Y creo que aquí pues lo puedo mejorar. Creo que es un plus para mi fútbol, y eso voy a intentar. Estoy aquí para aprender como todos, y si puedo ser el mejor jugador con estas nuevas facilidades que me da el Galaxy, pues así va a ser.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
Muchas
Thanks, Riqui.
gracias. Nos vemos. Thank you.